So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today is September 19th, 2024. This is meeting 18th for OWASP Ai Exchange. Rob is busy today. He has some conflict today, so he will not be able to join. So the agenda for today, again, there are like bunch of new people who have joined forces. So Chris can probably give like an update on that one. Some updates from the leadership itself. Hopefully we can have like few more folks from a red teaming and few other groups join to provide an update on the work streams that they are responsible or working on. And last but not the least, I talk about any other business that anybody might have or any open questions or open concerns. Chris, do you talk about the 4 new people that joined forces?
Yeah, so we had 4 new members join over the last 2 weeks, and apologies if I butcher anybody's name. I'm quite used to it with a mouthful like Ancharski as well. But we wanted to welcome Dr. Jan Chupka from Comasoft AG, Bassem Abidi from PwC, Danilo Ingami from the European Space Agency, and Caleb Charles from Capital Technology University. Thank you all for your contributions and getting involved with the group.
Yeah, welcome aboard and hope to see you next call.
Yeah, in fact, there are like few folks who actually joined the last call. There are like 5 new people. Do you see anybody on the call who's from? I know Abhinav is new. I've not seen him before.
Not over the last 3 weeks of new members.
Okay, I think Abhinav. Is that your like first or the second call attending?
I think so. There are other groups that I have joined. This one, I think, yeah, I've joined probably just a few times.
Okay. Do you want to probably give like a little background or where you come from?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I am currently based out of the San Francisco Bay Area. I work primarily in the security research space. It's been around 12, 13 years. Currently, I'm working with a company called Normalize. I head their security research. It's primarily on the data security side. More recently, I've started spending time on AI security, understanding what are the things that go into it. We are doing a bunch of implementations as well. I did some participations in CSA groups as well with some of the papers that they were coming up with. Then I think I got connected with Arunish, I think is there in the call as well. And then from there, I got introduced to this group.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. I know Normalize as a platform quite well. So
Okay.
welcome. Yeah.
Good to meet you. Great to have you in the call.
And is there a specific area for AI that you actually work on? Maybe you can join some of the subgroups that we have.
Yeah, so data classification is something that we have been exploring recently, Arunish. So mainly exploring how we can use LLMs to better classify the data. So more like a next level classification, or like we have regex matches and all. If they find something, to double verify or to confirm that yes, those matches are fine, we are thinking about seeing if we can leverage LLM technologies to improve that. So that is one area. Then there is a little bit on risk prioritization, like if there are a lot of risks, and many of those risks are dependent on the resources. So if we can feed all that information to the LLM, so instead of having a static score just based on what analyst has given, using other attributes like what is the resource, like how much data does it contain, which type of account is that resource in, using all that information to make the whole scoring more dynamic using LLMs. Those are like some of the experimental level things that I've been working on recently.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Let's continue. So getting started, few things I think it's important for the new people. Everybody else has probably heard this before. Like from a communication standpoint, we use Slack on a consistent basis. And we have one particular dashboard, whiteboard itself, which has a list of areas that people can actually volunteer and own or like contribute towards. So if you have a specific area that you're interested in, you can actually use that. And whenever you're making updates to any of the documents, which are usually like Google Doc, always use like suggest and review mode when you're putting in your specific updates. And if your specific areas you have any impediments, definitely let Rob, John, me, or maybe Chris know, and we can help either like getting the right resources or anything that needs to be done. So a couple of updates from the leadership itself. John, do you want to actually talk about
Yes.
some of the recent updates from your end?
Actually, this is a more my view as I come back from my vacation of where the group is. We see an increased momentum in our alignment and expertise role, and we have some slides after that. Good to see work progressing, the step-by-step guide, the teaming. And now, kind of in the standards alignment, the area where I focus is, although the US AI SIG work continues to gain traction, there hasn't been any major changes. Where we see impact increasing is, we did the OECD consultation for the AI risk thresholds I talked about. Thank you, all of you who helped and contributed. I put all your names in the author's page. I've also positioned there Susanna's work on AI risk, the AI DAO, as a document that actually is innovative work that we're doing in an AI exchange, inspired by the air industry, kind of the airline industry. So I offered for them to do a joint review with us, and I haven't heard back, but I will chase it. We still continue the collaboration. I think, Arnish, you're meeting them next week. There are some other calls, but I think, that's a kind of good momentum there continues. And then the next one, which is the major one for this 2 weeks, is that Rob has been elected by a majority of 6 European countries as part of the AI Act security standard. So he will be a co-author. And again, this is illustrating again how impactful becoming, how Rob's pioneering role also is helping here. The details are there about a new version that's coming, and how the Senelec is going also to create some publicity by publishing an article on that. So it's a great way actually to put open standards to support formal standardization. So I'm very pleased with that. And well done to Rob. He's not on the call, but congrats, Rob. Major milestone. And the next one, so the next slide. Oops, the one before. Again, we started tracking now the internal OWASP alignment. Our mental compass, if you like, is Aronish's post on LinkedIn. If you're watching this video and you haven't read the post, it's an excellent post explaining how the various OWASP groups, the two most active, the top 10 for LLM and Exchange, work together. On the basis of that, I'll start with the bottom one. So I'm also co-leading the top 10 for LLM. So we are wrapping up now the version 2, a major update of our top 10 for LLM. So I think it's only right for us to organize a review with the AI Exchange, how it fits in, some new things that are emerging there. So I will set up a call next week to do that review with all of you and walk you through what's coming up on version 2. The other one is the red teaming initiative. Both the top 10 for LLM have one. We have one. So kind of I introduced the guys there, and there was a call, and I believe, Arnish, you got on the call, so you can take it from there.
Yeah, so we had like a call earlier this particular week. Earlier, it was positioned to be a bi-weekly call to talk about this, but based on the criticality and some of the timelines, it's going to be a weekly cadence on talking about. And the deliverables are divided into like 4 levels of MVPs itself. And again, this is we just had like the kickoff call on Tuesday, I believe, or maybe it was yesterday. I'm just not recollecting when it was. So there are like 4 levels of MVPs that are positioned, and what we are looking at, and I'm talking we as in like the red teaming itself, the deliverable is earmarked for end of February of 2025 itself, right? So as you can see, we are already in September, so it's like almost like 4.5 months to deliver something. So the plan is going to be a little more aggressive in terms of that one. And I think the collaboration between different AI projects on this one is going to be very instrumental. And I believe there is a specific Slack channel. I'll actually post the name of the channel if anybody is interested to listening in or contributing on that one.
Is this an addition to the LLM red team that we normally do? And yeah, is it a joint one or is it specific?
I think it's like joining the forces itself. I think the
fantastic.
communication and everything is happening on the same channel itself.
Fantastic. Great news there. And Agnes, you talked about the MVPs. Are these joint MVPs or these are groups?
It's going to be joint. It's going to be joint.
Fantastic. That's actually possibly setting a nice example template of 2 groups working together.
And I think it's important for collaboration both within and even externally. And I think we are kind of centrally positioned at an industry level, right?
Excellent.
Like feeding into different standards within US and even outside.
Yep. And we've been quite active on the external side. It's good to see that maturity also on the internal side without killing the independence or the creativity of each group. So great stuff. And that's all for me, actually.
Thank you, John. And we reviewed this particular thing, but I'll go over this again. So within the leadership itself, between Rob, John, Chris, and I, there are like different functions or different areas that we are responsible for. And again, it doesn't mean that if Chris is doing X, he cannot do Y, for example, right? But this is like a broad category of what we are doing, and also like looking at scaling this particular work. And I've heard like a couple of inputs from a bunch of people around like the branding and the conference itself, making sure our name is out there more effectively by whether it's doing a LinkedIn post, or maybe there is a conference or there is a panel at a major conference. So we're kind of looking at that. And another thing that I'm looking at is getting like some funding opportunities within AI Exchange itself. So that's a new area that's growing. Couple of work area and priorities itself.
I got connected with I forgot the person's name, Dave, I think, if I remember correctly, on the conference outreach side of things. So next week I am at a conference called InfoSec World. I think OWASP is doing a few things over there. So I have a 2-day workshop and a talk as well over there. So he asked me if we can put in some of the things that are related with OWASP and so on. So we haven't finalized anything yet, but yeah, that is also something where I'm quite actively involved, speaking at conferences and things like that. So maybe we can slowly start introducing some of these things related with OWASP into those events as well.
Absolutely. In fact, like maybe it's Scott Clinton that you're talking about, not Dave.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's good. So I think like I had a conversation with Scott last evening on this one, but I think like you are definitely on the right track to connect to the right people. And it's like presence at all these different conferences, which is going to be important. InfoSec World, where Scott is speaking and also holding like a booth there. And we have one panel, one presentation that's happening in SF next week on Friday, which is the 27th. So I think those kind of channels and opportunities are going to be important.
Oh, that would be the AppSec Days event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, like, if you look at the two major deliverables and milestones that we have, we are definitely looking at rolling out the milestone 1.0 itself, the first official version. The date on this probably needs to be like ratified when Rob is back. But I think there are a couple of elements which are in the critical path. And again, there are like for the red teaming standards and the step-by-step guide, definitely on the critical path on that one. And I'm not sure if there are people from the group that focuses on the math or any other specific area that wants to give an update. Let me see who are on the call. I think Benaz, thanks for joining. Do you want to give like an update specifically on the red teaming?
Yes, actually, we are finished with the score. We try to consider the type of the scores and type of the actual factor for our scores. That would be great, and with the respect to all of the tools. So we are approximately finished with our tables. So I think that next week or two next week when Rob is back, we can actually ask Rob for a finalization, and after that we can do to publish it on a OWASP Ai Exchange. And I just want to share that I think I told Arnold that I'm invited from Isaka for the panel discussion about AI governance. So I will be with a different expert. It is for next year, actually 20 of February. And yesterday I submitted an article for the Isaka and try to actually have a presentation in a OWASP chapter Germany, and I wanted to submit it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow before deadline, because deadline is 2020 of September. Yeah,
that is good stuff, Benaz. I mean, like, you're always inspiring and like trying to find avenues where we can actually go and speak, which is good. And definitely, if there are, you need anybody to actually opine on any of your documents or any articles or journals, definitely share it on the authors group. And we have like a lot of people who can actually contribute or provide some feedback.
Yeah.
I do not see Chloe or Susanna today. I believe both are on vacation or traveling. Anybody else who has any update? I can provide update on two things that's happening in parallel. One is for the step-by-step guide. So we have like a weekly cadence to talk about what we are doing on that one. We have at least like 5 or 6 people, active people who are working on this one. Hopefully within the next 4 or 5 weeks, we should have like something that's definitely worth looking at and reviewing at a broader scale itself. And I think input and comments from everybody was going to be extremely valuable. So that's one bit of work that's happening. And there's another book of work which is focusing on the decision tree that Ian and I suggested almost like a month ago. So we have like a bi-weekly cadence on this one. So we have definitely made some progress, and maybe in the next, not the next one, but the call after, we'll definitely review it on the specific call. So everybody has a chance on looking what we are been building, what we are looking at doing itself. So that's like 2 specific updates that I had.
I think that'd be interesting, actually. At work, we're doing something similar on checklist and how to approach AI in cyber. So it'll be interesting to compare notes and see, how you guys position AI Exchange. So just to add a little bit, I've just realized I haven't mentioned that. As part of doing that at work, I'm also talking to an event from the Cyber and Fraud Centre Scotland in Ireland this time. with the executive audience on AI and cybersecurity with the digital policy officer of the US Embassy in the UK. So I will be in all my events. I position the AI Exchange as the place to go. So there will be some publicity there. And then I'm doing another conference in the 3rd of October called AI Con in Belfast again. So I'll share the kind of the deck that I use and ask for your feedback.
Oh, that's wonderful, John. Thanks for sharing this. And I think one thing that we are also doing is in Google Drive and as well as in Google Doc itself, we are creating an inventory of all the talks, all the material that has been presented outside, so that we can reuse that particular thing for future conference itself, right? So definitely review what's already available. If you're presenting, definitely have the abstract, the PowerPoint, anything that you have that can be reused, definitely put it on there, because we definitely don't want to actually duplicate the effort itself. So that's that. Let's look at. So the quick update on the OWASP AppSec for next week. We have a panel next week specifically focusing on the future on AI security. So it's going to be all branding about AI Exchange and the conference itself. So Chloe is going to be moderating the panel itself. Susanna, Niv, Dan also is part of the panel now. We are going to be on that particular panel. And there is another presentation that's going to be done by Susanna on threat modeling. So that's happening next week. And I think we just need to actually ensure we grow this particular list more and more as we go along the rest of the year in 2025. And I see, yes.
Excellent stuff, to think that from RSA, and well done to you, Ernest, for pushing this so energy. We only had you alongside the RSA conference to talk about the OWASP Exchange. For now, for us to have our own panel and the threat modeling workshop, top marks. I'm delighted.
And this is the information about a bunch of important conferences. Mehnaz already mentioned about ISACA conference. There's an in-person in Florida, and there is a virtual conference in, I think it's in February 2025. There is another conference called Human X. I'm pretty sure half of us might be already knowing about this. We should definitely have people go there, present. There are around 2,500, 3,000 people who are going to be attending. InfoSec World is happening next week, which Abhinav and Scott are attending. So these are a couple of links for upcoming conference and repositories of things. And there are some guidelines around the engagement and communication, outward communication. Again, this is open forum, but these are just guidelines, not rules. So definitely review this as we go along.
Hey, Arnush, if you know anybody that's going to be attending ISW next week in Orlando, I'll be out there. I'm doing the Master of Ceremonies for Monday and Tuesday for the InfoSec World Conference. So we'd love to sync up with Scott and anybody else that's going to be in attendance.
I think Abhinav is presenting as well.
Okay. Yeah, let's sync up and get some info on that.
So that's on the conference side. Any other business, any other thing that anybody has? Dharmesh, I know you have been coming after a while. Do you have any specific questions where we are?
No, I've just been catching up on things and, over the last couple of weeks and going through all the documentation, and would just like to know where you need more hands. I'll start pitching into that.
Dan, any specific input or anything from your end?
Nope, just trying to stay aboard and help out where I can.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. And
Guys,
welcome.
Have a fantastic time next week and make us proud, which I'm sure you will do. So well done for going there. So, I'll be rooting for you from here. I'm feeling jealous I can't be there.
Yeah, should be a good conference. A lot of good peeps there.
Abhinav, any specific Oh, sorry, Manish. Okay.
No, so go ahead. I'll say in there.
Abhinav, any specific thing or any other input that you might have?
Sorry, I was switching between networks. No, nothing specific. I'll sync up with Chris as well and see if we can meet up next week in Orlando.
Awesome. And Manish, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. So yeah, just very quickly, guys. So obviously, call with Kozai is next week. So I just wanted to that we should think about what areas we wanted to cover with them, right? Obviously, I'm on both sides. What I can really share is that Kozai is not yet ready, right? It's a newly formed body, obviously much more influential, but we guys, like in terms of in this forum, we are much further ahead, right? In terms of all of the collateral we have put together. So it's a really good chance for us to set the agenda, right? And I would say that if we can prepare, we can help Kozai, right? We are much further ahead. And I would say that if we go prepared in that meeting, we can tell them, I may not be able to attend, but I wanted to, put this thought to you guys that let's prepare, let's agree on or decide on points that we wanted to put forward to them. They don't have anything. That at least I can tell you from, because I'm already there, right? So let's take the advantage of this.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's the value of collaboration, that we support each other. So and I think Arunish and Rob mentioned that in the first call, that we're very strong on the defense side of things. So, but I agree with you, and Arunish, I don't know what you think, but it would be good to kind of build on that momentum and say, yeah, there is already work. There is no need to reinvent wheels here.
And we do have like an alignment call with
Yes.
Kozai. I think it's either 25th or 26th of next week. I believe it's on 25th, if I'm not mistaken.
It's 25th, Arunish, it's 25th. And that's why I think between ourselves, we can agree on, let's say discuss on Slack what points within our framework we should identify our strong points, and we say that we have covered these areas. One thing I can share with you guys, and that may help you, is in Kozai we built a matrix that how it relates with the other organization. I'll see if I can pull that out and share with you guys.
Just a gentle reminder,
you guys.
And it's just a gentle reminder that this is being recorded and it will be put on YouTube. So if there's anything confidential,
all right,
be aware of that.
It's definitely confidential. So how we can remove this? I don't know. So I don't know if that
Chris and Rob
cut down or not cut down.
The masters of editing, so I'm sure they will remove whatever.
Yeah, Manish,
so
Chris
I completely forgot that this is public. So I guess you guys have to take out my sort of whatever I said, because that will not be appropriate to be in fully public.
Yeah,
apologies. I should have.
That's fine. We all do that all the time. I mean, I've said things that I thought, my goodness, what did I just say? But it's a good point. Whoever edits the video will edit it. But let's have a huddle and talk via Slack instead of this call of how we can best prepare.
Yeah, I'll message you guys on Slack and talk separately. All right. Sorry, guys.
No, sorry.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, Manish. And I see Valentino Merlino actually just joined at the right moment.
Yeah.
Hey, Valentino.
Sorry if I join later, but I had a meeting of work, so sometimes it's difficult to join early.
Is there any specific update or anything that you might have as an update or any other question that you might have?
No, in this moment I'm reading what also Susanna wrote, so I'm just trying to figure out. I was in holiday for most of August, so it was very difficult for me. And now I have some time free, thanks to the company, for focusing on that. So I will try to in these weeks to do something for their requirements. So I really hope to help.
Awesome. Thank you. I think we got everybody to actually opine and provide an update itself. Any last open questions from anyone? If not, we can actually call it a wrap. And hopefully I'll see not most, but many of you next week in San Francisco. And Chris, Abhinav, good luck with the conference next week.
Enjoy, guys, and well done there. Cheers.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great
Thank
week.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.